Being an individual is a fairly new phenomenon for our species. Many of us are the first in our bloodlines to have the opportunity and privilege to ask, why am I here? And what am I meant to do with my life? In the past, our purpose was rooted in service to one another. One would often work in the same role and niche as their family. Generation after generation, they would fulfill their duty to their community as baker, miner, or carpenter. Purpose wasn't questioned or discussed. It was something that was unspoken and implicit. It was derived from family, culture, and clan. You did what was expected of you, fulfilling your given role for the greater good and the needs of your community. You played your part to ensure survival and harmony with those around you. Many of us today are still living just to survive. We don't question why or what for. We go through the motions and do what's necessary to support ourselves and our families. And when you're struggling just to get by, it's hard to find time to question, to wonder, or even to dream. When you're consumed with the immediate necessities of life, you can't afford to think about tomorrow or someday. Your scope becomes limited to what's immediately in front of you. Working to get your paycheck, putting food on the table, and getting the kids to school with all that they need. Struggling and striving to offer the next generation a fighting chance, an opportunity to aim higher, to offer them the luxury of being able to question their greater purpose and plan. How many of us take for granted the sacrifices made by those who have come before us? And how many of us feel stuck in the never-ending Groundhog's Day of responsibilities, that we lose our sense of who we truly are and why we're truly living, not just to get by, not just to fulfill some company's quota or to meet our basic needs, but to live the most fulfilled lives that we can. To escape survival mode is to be afforded the time to wonder, why was I really placed on this earth? What is inside of me that is waiting to be birthed and manifested? What potential is beckoning to be brought forth? And where can I aim for more fulfillment, more presence, more integrity, more awareness, more impact? Stephen Pressfield, in his book, The War of Art, writes, "These are not easy questions. Who am I? Why am I here? They're not easy because the human being isn't wired to function as an individual. We're wired tribally, to act as part of a group. Our psyches are programmed by millions of years of hunter-gatherer evolution. We know what the clan is. We know how to fit into the band and the tribe. What we don't know is how to be alone. We don't know how to be free individuals. Evolutionarily speaking, governing ourselves as individuals is new territory for us. We have the ability to express our free will more than ever before, and with that comes greater personal responsibility. Many of us wish to aim for greatness, but we have a hard enough time ordering ourselves in the minutiae, like getting ourselves to follow a sleep schedule, eating meals at regular times, exercising, and cleaning our homes. We are asked to place expectations upon ourselves and simultaneously create checkpoints and goalposts to act as markers for our successes and failures. It's all up to us. We are both the parent and the child, the boss and the employee. In part, I think it's remarkably exciting. We can choose our direction, we can forge our own path, we can explore the endless possibilities and carve out meaning and purpose for our time here on Earth. But it can also be daunting. We hold the responsibility of choosing where and what we're moving towards, and thus, the weight of our choices matter. Nietzsche said, "The person who has a why can bear any how." So what is your why? Some people live for God, others for family, for fortune, for fame, and for glory. I believe it's important to align yourself with a pursuit that's worthy of your time and worthy of your soul. Because when you face the obstacles and challenges that are inevitable in life, your why needs to be strong enough to make you push through. You've got to believe in it enough to fight for it. So why do so many of us allow ourselves to live these unfulfilling lives? To remain vague as to why we even do what we do every day, desiring certain things, certain outcomes, and yet never taking the initiative to make the plans necessary to reach our goals. I think a lot of the time we aim lower than we ought to, or we choose not to aim at all on purpose. On one hand, If we opt out and allow ourselves to just float along, we can evade any responsibility when life goes sideways. On the other hand, if we try to convince ourselves that we're content and satisfied with the way things are, with the unfulfilling paycheck job, the toxic relationship, or the weight that's been accumulating in our midsections, we eventually lull ourselves into a state of complacency. After a while, we start to accept our new reality. We justify it even. And in general, we just kind of settle. I understand. It can feel intimidating to think that there's another way, another reality, another version of ourselves that could exist, because if we dare to envisage it, we may want to start to do something about it. That kind of thinking is the kind that makes you lose sleep at night. It forces you to break out of your stasis, your predictable routine, your comfort zone, and that is scary. But the reality, my friend, is that you've got one life, and no one is going to force you to change. No one can force you to make better choices or to start a new habit. This is you versus you. The you of yesterday versus the you of today. And frankly, today is all that we're promised. All we've got is right now. What are you going to do with the miracle of a life that you've been given? In this TED Talk I listened to by Mel Robbins a few years ago, she said that scientists estimate, with taking into account all of the wars and the natural disasters and the dinosaurs, the odds that you being born at the moment of time you were born to the parents you were born to with the DNA structure that you have is 1 in 400 trillion. While the exact numbers might not be precisely accurate, the principle stands. For all intents and purposes, your existence is nothing short of absolutely miraculous. You being you is almost categorically impossible, and yet here you are. You're here. You've arrived. You've been given a shot at life. Might as well make it count for something and create something meaningful and something lasting. So how do you do it? You get brutally honest with yourself. Maybe there have been some bumps in the road. Maybe you're not all that you could be. Maybe you don't even know where to start. But what you do have are the raw ingredients. You have the potential. You have the desire. Miles Monroe said, "Your future is trapped inside of you, and you are carrying your own raw materials." So start with making a choice. Make the pivotal decision and choose for today to be different. Set yourself free from the past. Forgive yourself. Forgive those who have hurt you. Allow yourself to sit with all of it. Yesterday does not have to define tomorrow. The more you try to ignore reality and numb yourself out, the harder it will be to move forward. So just start. Start excavating and looking at all the things that you've shoved under the rug for far too long. Get to know you again. Ask yourself, what do I want? What's stopping me from getting there? Who have I been, and who do I want to become? What would make this life worthwhile? What's my purpose? What's the next best step I need to take to get there? It may not be easy, but it'll be worth it. The best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The second best time is today.